Hello again and welcome. Today UNI-T released their new firmware updates for the MSO7204X. So I'm going to walk you through the installation and then we'll try running a couple of quick tests and we'll see if they've made any improvements with the scope. I'm looking forward to trying this out because I really haven't been using this oscilloscope since I purchased it. Looks like the first thing we need to do is check the version number. Right click in System, and there you can see this is v3.00.000, which is what they're showing in the manual here. So let's see, normal upgrade steps. Don't power off the oscilloscope. Power on the oscilloscope after entering the oscilloscope main program interface. Click the menu in the upper right corner to exit the oscilloscope main program. Okay. So we'll select quit. Yes. So it says copy the upgrade package to a USB drive's root directory. Insert it into the flash drive into the USB host port on the front. Note direct update to the USB flash drive is not supported. Please copy the upgrade package to the oscilloscope desktop before executing the upgrade. So I've already copied those files into the root of this flash drive. We'll go ahead and plug that in. Detects the drive. We'll just do open folder. Shrink this thing down. And we just want to drag this to the desktop, I guess. Next it says double click the install and then the installation interface will appear. Select the full installation and click next. Select components. We just select full install and check the firmware upgrade and click next. No need for other options. Click the install and the system will start upgrading. After the upgrade is complete, power cycle the instrument to ensure all effects take place. After restarting, open the system information through the quick menu and check the version number to confirm that it was a successful upgrade. So I assume we can remove our flash drive and we just double click this. You'll notice I changed all my connector covers. I didn't like the ones that were supplied with the scope. They were too difficult to push on there. Yep, so English, that's good. I did make a full image of the hard drive for this. So if we do muck something up, I can bring this completely back to the way it was supplied from the factory. Please power off and restart the device. And we select finish. And we will power cycle it. What you'll notice in the lower left here, again this is all in Chinese. I would think if you're going to sell a product to the US, you'd remove any Chinese characters and replace them with English. It's looking like everything is going to be in Chinese. See these menus here? So there's a fix for that. So you can see after the firmware upgrade, the instrument interface may switch to Chinese. Please follow the 3 steps shown below to switch the language back to English. Maybe this is utility. Click on the bottom tab over here. And then we can select English. There we have it. So it's all back. Alright, so now that I can read it, let's select System. There we have it, V3010001. That is the correct version number. So now that I have the latest firmware installed, we're going to try a few simple tests. So first I'd like to demonstrate how we can display the different waveforms on their own unique graph. So we're going to turn on C2. Notice that we still don't see this new menu that they're talking about. Let's turn on C3. Now we see it. So new view. We'll turn that on. So now we have C3 on its own unique graph. Now if I go back to C2, now you see it shows new view. I don't know why it didn't do that in the first time. Now we can see we have all 3 on their own unique graph. But notice now as I select channel 4, again we don't get the menu. So we go back to channel 3, go back to channel 4. Now new view shows up. Okay, so now let's turn off channel 4. And let's turn it back on. Notice that it doesn't go to the new view. Likewise, if I select the button here for channel 4, turn it back on, see, it adds it to the main menu. I'll do that for all the channels. See, they're all back to what they were set for. So the scope will not remember what your settings were. So that's kind of a pain. I'm going to turn all those new views back on again. It's really a pain. Okay, so now we can drag these around. So if I just click over here, for example, put it off to the right, or grab this one and we'll put them off to the other side. I don't know, we can grab him and let's just go to the top. So it's very flexible as far as how you want to move this data around. So that's pretty nice. Overall, I like the feature. I don't like that new view just doesn't show up. I don't even know why that's disabled at times. It should just be enabled all the time. Let's just turn off channels 2 through 4. And now I'm going to select the jitter analysis. So you'll notice now the main menu for the jitter never comes up. And there's no way to get it to come up. So this is a bug with the software. If you may remember, that menu originally had the eye diagram as a sub-menu selection. So now the eye diagram is selected by this menu here. So it's like they've improved that, I would say. Let's just go ahead and enable it. But as far as the jitter, see, we can't bring it up. So yeah, that's kind of a major miss. I'm not sure. They just must not do any kind of regression testing to check out these features as they're correcting them. I mean, that was working originally with the older firmware and now it's broke. Let's try turning on the logic analyzer. We'll just turn off channel 1. And let's just turn on all the inputs, select all, and high res, auto sort. What do you see missing? Absolutely no decoding still. Their firmware has no way to separate these into a bus, nor does it have any way to decode this data. You could go out and literally buy a low-cost logic analyzer much cheaper than what this feature costs, and you'd be in a lot better shape. What's really odd about this is UNI-T offers lower cost oscilloscopes that offer decoding on the logic analyzer. Let's turn this back off. If I double select it or tag here, you'll notice that it doesn't just turn off like the other menus. Like when I have the eye diagram up and it's on. Now if I click on this gray area, see, it turns that feature off. So not all the features of the scope behave the same way. They should. I don't know why it's not consistent. Here I have our little dual oscillator board. We're going to connect this to channel 1 and we'll have a look at the FFT. Alright, so again we have two 11 megahertz oscillators on that circuit board. They're separated by a few hundred hertz, and what we're expecting to see is two different peaks. So let's just turn on our FFT and we'll select a center frequency of 11 megahertz. And increasing our number of data points to 256K. We go up a little higher. Let's try to go to the max. So this is 1 meg. Yeah, you can see again, just like before, it's like they don't have adequate filtering to resolve these two peaks. Now again, I demonstrated that with a low-cost sigilant scope, and of course our LaCroix can actually do this as well. Yeah, so to me this still needs to be improved. Let me just demonstrate something else while I've got this scope out. So all I'm going to do is select channel 1 and then we're going to go to input, and then I'm going to change the spare units. We'll set this to amps per volt, and let's do custom, and then we're going to do customized, and we're going to go 0.5 and OK, and that should be it. So you can see now this is displaying milliamps per division instead of volts. That came up when I was showing how my transient generator works. This is a Pearson transformer, and I was displaying the output of this in volts and then manually computing that to amps, and of course it was a divide by 10 in that case, so not a big deal to do that math, but they were asking why I didn't display that in amps directly and if the LaCroix could do that. Actually, the LaCroix can display in any units you want. The problem is you have to enable a math channel, and then from there you can do a point slope, so y equals mx plus b, to rescale that data, and from there you can basically select any units that you want. It just takes time because you got to add another channel and display that, shut off the other one. So that's the only reason I didn't do it. I just couldn't be bothered. Well, I think that's going to be it for this video for now. Hopefully in the future UNI-T will get some better firmware for this. It should at least be on par with their low-end scopes. It's just kind of disheartening that the logic analyzer can't even do simple decoding. That's just crazy. That and having them introduce new bugs where the jitter menu doesn't even come up. I mean, what's up with that? It's like they're not testing their own firmware before they release it. Well, all for now. We'll see you in the next video. Later.